Someone said yes.
Just
Bo.
that is currently what's going on. Just what? Oh, I can't make noise. That's fine, I suppose. I can't make noise. I can't give my 2 cents.
Is he even here?
They get it. Also, execute them for speaking out of turn. Do I look like I'm kidding? Anyways. Currently, temporarily drooling noodle just getting stared at.
Yeah.
The drooling state, woken up by Nora with an elbow to the ear.
Just an elbow to the hood.
No, he aimed for the ear.
Specifically the ear hole.
He doesn't have fully functional ears. It's okay.
Oh, hurts.
Don't drift off when our lives are at stake. Please. You see
I
this?
don't know why that happens. I can't control it.
Must we call a small recess for him? No, I think he'll be fine. Don't worry. Or not. I don't know. What do I know? Clearly, I don't know anything. Having us sit here and be quiet this whole time. Just let me pout. My notes are full of a lot of things. Think that. Right, yes, right. Questioning about church distance. They've got that relevant information. All right. What was right? Yes, that was the next question. Good job, brain. Hat. Have serotonin. Yes, fuck you. All right, I need it. Now, you said that when you were, what would be the appropriate word here? Absconded. What? I'm educated. Leave me alone. The correct word. Absconded by these supposed individuals who work for the Church of Omnia. What did they take from you exactly of great importance? If you're able to remember, that is good. If not, then please think hastily for a valid and believable excuse.
Kind of look over tomorrow. To keep the explanation short, I am not natively of Vipera, but as I have come to learn of an old god the Vipera used to worship. And one of the items taken from us by these individuals was a sacrificial dagger. It was given as a quest reward. Not sure who placed it into the reward table. Normally, dangerous objects such as that do not make it into the reward table or the reward box on for completed quests. But this item apparently is necessary in some old and ancient ritual that the Church of Omnis is attempting to perform.
I still can't find the right murmur sound effect. There.
I should say that think that the Church of Omnius, or at least this small sect, is attempting to form.
Nice silence from them as they just kind of do that thing where they look to themselves and you can't hear what they're saying. I mean, you could try and get close, but you'd have to get past the guards and like the railing and up the steps and all that. Just wouldn't be a good
This is the
idea.
part where you sit and wait and listen.
You stand and wait and listen behind that.
Yes.
Yes, behind that fucking. It's actually golden wood. It's really fascinating. Noro can't stop like feeling it every 5 seconds because it's wood that looks like it's made of gold, but he can tell it's wood. It feels like wood. It's got that scratchiness like wood, but it's gold. It's fucking with his head, and that's what you're standing behind currently. Is essentially just a little dividing defendant's wall here. You put any of your materials here if you need to. There's enough space. Anyways. Get it out. Okay, you're good. All right. That was a random yawn that came out of nowhere. I'm not even tired. I slept good. What the fuck? Why is that when I sleep bad, I don't yawn? This is bullshit. Backwards wiring. Damn it! I want a replacement. Because that's fucking wiring in my brain. Call an electrician to fix that shit.
I'm an electrician. Wait, no, I'm better than electrician. I'm a mechatronic engineer.
Congratulations.
I'm doubly
I know-
qualified to rewire your brain.
I know
Yes,
a
you're also-
neurosurgeon student in Korea.
You're also
Oh
doubly
shit, I
qualified
can't
to get
compare with that.
electrocuted. And you can. Just know a
Did you not hear them?
neurosurgeon-
They're from Korea.
Yes, but another neurosurgeon. It's like Pokemon. You have to get their counterpart.
Just don't get the one from China.
Oh, you kill that. That's okay. You can still be doctor. Anyways,
I don't see failure on this board.
Son of a-
This is computer where he play with other failures.
like, hello, Beijing Embassy. My son's a failure. Anyway, fucking love those skits. Can we all appreciate the fucking face he makes in that profile picture, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Ivy knows the one, that's why they snark. Item. Okay, good. I did write it down. Ah, yes, Noro. Noro, ever the one to help. Right, so the dagger, stabby, dagger of the Viperic blood god, the ancient Viperic god of blood ward. I think, I don't know, translates roughly either chaos or
Probably dead.
cannibalism. Well, regardless. Zalvos, Zalvo, something that. But they also took a book of lunar cycles, which was also an interesting thing to get out of a quest reward, actually. A very specific piece of media, a book of lunar cycles about the daemons of the moons. Yes. Anyways.
Right at the second Naiba pops in. Wait, what?
No, Naiba is still, like, decked out on a fucking...
Oh no, I know. That's why I was saying. He just kind of pops in like, wait, what? What'd you say about lunar cycles?
No, they definitely can't escape that room.
Well, they were carried off to another room, but they definitely can't escape it because there's a person acting as a door.
Oh no, a door!
With armor and a
Who's
sword,
there? Good.
and who's
Door.
verbally abusive.
And he's sassy.
The
It's
best
going to be
defense against an adventurer, a gay, sassy guardsman.
it's gonna be death by glamour then.
Shut up, Metatron. Oh God. Still haven't played that game.
I haven't either. I've learned about it through osmosis.
Yeah, pretty fucking
game?
much. Determination. Shut the fuck up. He was gonna get it right either way. Oh my god.
Oh, Metaton, you mean?
That
Oh,
was like a
Undertale.
lag response.
Yeah.
There is some
Yeah,
lag
yeah.
here. Good, bro.
I heard
You
Tron. I'm like,
okay?
Metatron. I'm
Megatron, Cybertron.
Yeah. You seriously, are you okay? Cause
Just
that was very delayed on both responses.
Shush. I'm fine.
the lightning struck, and it took a while for the thunder
Have
to
you
come
been in the
back.
heat too much, bud? I don't think you fucking are.
I'm fine.
Fucking system lag over here. Alright,
Need a drink of
simulation
water,
is,
man.
the simulation is lagging
might
right
just,
now.
I might just go get my apple juice. Though. Got a big, like, half-gallon glass of apple juice.
You are going to shit yourself?
Nah.
Yeah, you'll drink half a gallon of apple juice in one sitting and just like slam that motherfucker and tell me how your butt responds to that.
I will. I'll go to the freezer and get it out because I put it in the freezer to get cold.
Oh, it's gonna be
Yeah.
apple slushy.
Good
wanna know
No,
luck.
how
it's
long
not
it
apple
takes.
slushy. It's just cold apple juice.
Okay. Fucking Jesus.
I heard Met. Oh,
No,
I'm like,
it's okay. It's
It's
okay.
okay,
Just
we're done with the bit now. It's over.
okay. Calm down.
okay, moving on.
Fucking goddamn Marine, go eat your apple juice.
Crunchy. Here we go. Apple juice.
Whoa, I have
Oh
to
no, it's
straighten my
1.5
cheeks out.
liters.
I have to straighten out my cheeks so I can, because if they're not straightened out when I try to be one of these two currently, I'll revert to sassy, and like sassy is like fucking not in the room right now.
Sassy's a different beast.
Sassy is another like there are certain characters that you've met that are sassy and they're not anywhere nearby. So like I don't like get back to this stuck up, pissed off mindset. I can't be them. No, peasant, not really. But I mean,
Oh, so you mean your Domino side?
Domino is not. He doesn't even. That's the worst thing is he doesn't even acknowledge certain people. What hurts worse than them being a stuck-up rich asshole? Them not even acknowledging your existence. Okay, so that's that question. Important is I don't think there's any.
Like Ezio, stuck up asshole, because he just fucking runs straight crowds of people.
It literally comes from a prestigious Italian family, and so yes,
Oh fuck,
he's
he
also
does.
yeah, he's a greedy asshole too. If you look at the lore. Anyways, all right. So, recapping everything here, simple. You were sent on a different mission, correct?
Yes.
And that was to deliver a message.
Correct.
And you resided at the Woodface residence, or however they say that,
Yes, that is
intending
correct.
only to rest, but you were place of rest and then absconded. Yes?
I believe the word you're looking for is accosted.
Abscond, abcost, assailed, all of them work.
I
Abducted.
didn't come to the bomb.
Shit. We have so many words for, yeah, basically these assholes attacked me.
Yeah,
Including those.
Fucking English truly is a bitchy language.
It,
Got so many snarky fucking words in this language. I love it.
I particularly just how any
My favorite thing to do is just shut up, you vagina. It pisses people off more than anything for some reason. I don't know what it is. Just calling somebody a vagina triggers something in them.
it generally makes me laugh.
It makes me laugh too. But like, they get upset some people because they don't know if they should feel complimented because if you think of like the logistics of a vagina, it's fucking impressive, or if like they're being called a pussy, but they don't know if they are because you just called them a vagina, or if you're just literally talking to them as if they were a sentient vagina.
Oh, I mean, the
It's
Prime Minister of Canada.
one of
it's
my
the confusion.
I prefer ones where you have to think about it. Like, if you had half a brain, you'd be. It's like, well, is it an insult? Or is it a compliment?
I take it as an insult.
If I had a choice between a grizzly bear cub and you in the desert, I choose the cactus and then just leave. All right. That clarification was made, and that's fine. And doing that, they liberated, stole, relieved,
Flipping through a
snatched,
thesaurus.
whatever you wish to describe. Two specific belongings, very specific belongings that were, by all accounts of reports given, premeditated items of intrigue.
I would say yes. That seems fairly accurate.
Hmm. And you swear here, in front of two lineages of royalty, that in no way, shape, or form is this a fabrication to be used as a justification for an intensely escalating border situation to become much, much more severe.
Given the potential for the needless loss of life and damage to all things that have been set up and painstakingly cared for as cities and infrastructure, I would say this is not a fabrication and is in fact accurate.
We would never, in any instance whatsoever, consider doing something so drastic or stupid as triggering a war. Not intentionally, anyways. That may not help the point here, but I don't intentionally make any severe fuck up. Well, there was one time. It's irrelevant.
Anyone is who amongst us is not a fan of a good joke or practical joke of some kind. This is not such a case. This is obviously far more important. Then
The
just
two
making
of
a
us
joke
were
or
beat
doing
up.
something.
That is the moral of the story. We were beat up, and children were beat up. Well, they're not children; they're young adults, but there are children. But they're not our children. You want shh.
Kevin just kind of put a hand on Noro's shoulder. Given the gravity of the situation, this is not something that we could, in good conscience or otherwise, fabricate ourselves.
They're having another conversation amongst them four selves, and then you can hear that murmuring off to either side. Some intently interested in this political scenario. You know, some who are like legitimately curious about, well, are we gonna die in like a month, or are we good? What's going on? And then some who are just there, simply just you can tell them are just there to judge or be assholes. And then there's always a few of them who are just there to watch. No intrigue. They're just there for the entertainment value. But after a few minutes of this suspense that is so thick you could pierce it with a fucking spear, you'll just get some form of well, you won't get a response. Quiet down when this woman clad in that fucking regal ass gold and crimson hair, like it's basically she's wearing heraldry. That's all she is. Just beautiful. Ah, so regal, and only I can see it. Yes.
Is there such a thing as a regality boner?
Yes, there is. She'll raise a hand up,
Reality
and
boner.
I will throw you out a window. But and when she does raise her hand up, she'll slowly lower it and then look off. And they are themselves not clad in armor like some of the royal guard, but rather they are wearing what looks like a set of white robes. But they don't have any symbols of the church on it, so that's good. Because the robes are just white robes with what is it, gray, a gray set of secondary coloration. Arbitrator, take them out and bring the others in, please. And with the hushed silence, they will shamble their way over and slowly push you both out of the room. When you do get outside the room, fucking Noro just I'm okay.
Apparently, Kevin has opted to hold his tail kind of around from one side.
Oh, hey, look, a
Good stuff.
bench. And Nora will go fucking lie down on the bench. I have never in my life had my heart pound in my chest so consistently. Well, that's not true, but not with it, not in a non-compromising position,
That wasn't compromising!
I was compromising and terrifying, but my clothes were on, so it was less scary.
No, touche. Touche.
Yeah. Whoa. Interesting. Fucking arbitrator just has to hear that conversation as he leaves off down the little steps and he'll stop and just look at the group of childrens.
The chickens.
See,
Beatrice probably would have been fidgeting a little bit, and Yon, was she down with Mons at the time?
she's still down there. They'll come
Okay.
and get her. She's aware of that.
Okay, I was trying to remember if she'd gone up to wait with them or if she was waiting down. And so in this case, she will not be chiding Beatrice for fidgeting. So we'll probably be on Faraji to do that.
They will just point one hand at Beatrice, and they'll point the other hand at Fionn. I need.
Beatrice nods and begins walking forward.
Fionn would follow along.
Yes, the arbitrator with their neutral color palette will lead you to this room, which, boy, as you pass through the threshold, the reality and the pucker factor really start to set in. You know,
Beatrice is going to look around in awe at the impressive display.
it's pretty, architecturally and all the iconography that they have of the royal house. It's all there. And there's even one side of the room which currently has temporary Nemanthian banners just intentionally hoisted over the heraldry of Ilvamar. Because they fucking can. But it's just uncomfortable walking up this another flight of steps and then a smaller flight of steps to stand behind what is essentially a sort of lengthy lectern meant for groups of people to stand behind at any given time. And it's uncomfortable to have a royal guard on the left side and a chevalier on the right, just casually standing there in perfect, unshaken silence, staring just not at you, thankfully, but just ahead at the four thrones that are collectively there. Further up a little flight of steps and sort of like a mixture between a throne room and parliament. And this murmuring crowd will find itself silenced once more just by the raise of a hand from the Empress of Ilvamar. That fucking psycho. She's not a psychopath. She's actually beloved. From what you know of her, she's a very beloved ruler. She's known as the Lioness, Empress Marjoline. Oh, my nose is getting stuffed up because of stuff. Oh, it's gonna suck today.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, that's gonna suck. All right.
Well, Beatrice is going to wait patiently and silently until she is basically told to speak or in.
The arbitrator's gonna take his little stand back in the corner and just silently stare just out into the fucking void, apparently. State your names, starting with the Leonis.
Fionn. My name is Fionn Lanaya Yasane.
Hmm. And then you can see them cock an eyebrow and then lean back as something is whispered into their ear from the Emperor. Who are your parents?
My parents are Janaya Lanaya and Alana Lanaya Yasane.
Ah, yes. Quite a great frequency of shocked murmuring. Janaya Lanaya, the disgraced royal forge master, and an associate of a former chevalier. Well, now, doesn't that make for an interesting development? Oh, now you want my input, I see. Do you? So, you have two moms. Well, it looks like I was right, but that's very interesting considering that your mom knows a terrorist. Is that
I guess I don't get to hear this story. The internet decided it was going to cut out. So,
Nana report? Well, scathing commentation aside, that's not why we're here, and that's not what's important. You, Kitsura, state your name.
I am Beatrice Hiramson.
Another interesting development. Hit him. Ah, yes. Is the Striziotaris. Gloria Hiram, a member of a known legally operating Berlaxian mercenary company associated with the murderer of his own kin, the Chevalier killer, Drake Kilvier. Well, this is certainly shaping up to be an extremely interesting day. I might not need to go to war. Unprofessionalism, I'm aware. Would you like me to? What? I'm just being. So, aside from that relationship there, that we will discuss at a later date when that is the matter of the trial. Arbitrator, make note. Currently, we are just here for something simple. And we need both of you to swear, now here in front of two lineages of royalty, and a room full of, well, your peers as much as you can have peers, that you will tell the truth, and you will not lie so long as you stand there behind that golden oak.
I swear.
I swear.
Well, that's very simple then. They swear, therefore they'll never lie. You're having such an easy day. Look at that. Be fine. I'll take it. I wish to ask, if I may, were you truly assigned to a simple request given to deliver a message of which its contents we do not know? None of us do, by the way. But that's fine. We don't need to know. Was that truly your intention when you crossed from Ilvamar to Nemanthian territory and were seen all the way in my backyard in my beloved Harlash?
Yes, it was a relatively simple quest.
I yes, we were sent to deliver a message. That's pretty much it.
To whom?
Uh, I believe name was Sirius.
Very serious matter indeed.
No, my lord. Name was Sirius.
Shh. Your head's too thick. Going to get you drowned. Well, now we know that. Guess we'll just keep that in mind, won't we? And giving her a break here, because I'm a saint. You were on your way back to Ilvamar via transportation by Peligogrip when you made a uncanny stop in a grove of the property of Vulpes, Monston Vulpes, and his family home, or, well, manor, where you spent, what was it, 4 days?
That sounds right. A lot happened, so it kind of blurs the memory a little.
And you were also attacked. You were stricken by your assailants and defeated, and liberated of belongings. They kindly took them from you by force.
That is correct.
Would you kindly state those items?
Well, one was a quest reward I'd received. It was a dagger, uh, a sacrificial dagger or ceremonial dagger for Salvos.
Mhm.
And the other was
The other
that one of our party members had, and something about Damons.
Something
say,
about Damon.
I
She was
believe it
able
was
to recreate the book from memory, if that's important.
Oh, evident. Does anyone have a book that was recreated from memory of this book of daemons and lunar cycles with the moons that might be used to corroborate
I'm
its
pretty
so
sure party member Naibai has that still.
mm,
She received the original as a quest reward.
ah thickens like gravy. And both of you will simply swear that, and truthfully swear, because you did say you wouldn't lie, correct?
That is correct.
I
It
accept.
makes no sense to lie.
Ah, smart girl. Make a great daughter. So, neither of you are lying when you say that under no circumstances you are acting to commit a act of war on behalf of interested parties who may or may not be present to further escalate an already dangerously tense situation of the Nemanthian and Ilmaran border.
We were not. I would posit that you all have the same enemy in common.
I don't know if we both exactly have the same enemy in common. Most people aren't fond of killing themselves, you see.
Well, the from what we had gathered from our guild's investigation, the Church of Omnius seemed to have interest in running, well, salvos.
Oh, blasphemy. More blasphemy. To say twice over now that the Church of Omnius would summon a pagan savage god. Most are no friend of the church, I am aware, but such defamation is insulting. And I assume you were also absconded. No. By this same mysterious individual for this mysterious, non existent sect of the church.
Oh, yes, we came under essentially artillery fire in the morning and
Ah,
we engaged in combat and
so it
defeated.
was a battlefield then. Fascinating.
Right?
Well,
And
I
when we
don't know if
defeated
you
the
would call
ones
it a
that
battlefield if somebody just bringing a very large gun to attack a house. But in any case, there were a few low-level individuals who were
Mm,
defeated, and then apparently these two very high-level ones that defeated the rest of us.
May we have, for once, a descriptor of them? Or would that be of such impossibility? What do they look like? What did they wear? What was their face, their hair, their ears? Did they smell like anything? Or was the only descriptor that comes to mind pain?
Well, I did not happen to meet the second high powerful individual because they were in the house doing battle with half of our group, while the group I was with, which included Fionn here and Norrell and Kevin, were uh, involved with the other one. And so then she'll go about describing Crucia as best she can. I don't remember the entire description off the top of my head, so
That's okay.
same.
but yeah, she's gonna do her best to describe this Crucia lady. And she wasn't even sure whether it was a name or a title. But she will mention the detail about how the lower level character had called to this Crucia and then been killed.
Bye, Crucia.
Oh. Well, it seems it most certainly actually is the church then. Because only the Church of Omnius would be so hypocritical that it would kill those that it views as weak, heretical cowards. I wish not to have this discussion further. As you wish, Empress. I'm simply speaking my mind. Just say, while it might be blasphemy and heresy and whatever you want to add on to anything, there may be some purchase to their statement since that makes four, and no offense to you, young sire and madam, but you don't exactly come off as those capable of a solid rehearsal in a matter of half an hour.
Like I said, it doesn't make sense to lie. It would be easy to see through one, especially with divination magic.
Rats, is it really that predictable to see that in my face? So,
But
that's
it
right.
would rather make sense that somebody with divination magic would be around for something such as this, just to make sure everyone's telling the truth.
He's lying. He doesn't use divination. He simply has a very solid eye. Oh, how you flatter me. Finally, the silence broke. Well, that makes two. Hmm. I suppose, arbitrator, if you would be so kind, bring in the others. Children. I guess the arbitrator doing that calm, pushing motion. Get the both of you back out, then down the steps, and along. Go join Kevin and Nora over there in their little panic area. Ooh, it feels like a weight's been lifted, though. You can finally let out that fart you've been holding in.
When Theon gets to them, he's just gonna.
It's very uncomfortable standing there that close to them because between those four royals, the amount of just literal, palpable fucking power is like standing next to a fucking gravity well. Like,
Mhm.
it's just enough that you can feel it pulling on you. Ah, so they will grab Mob and Sin next.
Let me check. I don't think I wrote that down. Never mind. I don't remember.
Theon's gonna look at Noro. Yeah, Noro,
But
I have a question.
I have an answer. Remember, don't double wrap. The friction will destroy one of them.
No, what did they mean by my mom is a disgraced blacksmith?
I don't know. You'd have to ask somebody else. That's not me. Or Kevin might know. Maybe.
I think it was something to do with not willing to bend a knee to the wishes of the royals and the forbidden form of smithing. I want to say soulsmithing, but I didn't pry. I was kind of the at that point in time. I was kind of the uh, afterthought of the group. We'll say, not for being cruel, but simply being picked up by an old party member of ours.
He will nod. Alright.
15 minutes later, and Sin and Mob are leaving, and Sin just kind of, whew. And then Mob just, there is not enough anger that can express the words I wish to burrow into the flesh of that royal.
They're infuriating, aren't they?
They only anger me because I know there's nothing I can do against them. Quite disheartening. Really. Disturbing, human. Yes, it is a little humbling. And then there's Bonnie and Frank. And she's in essence, they don't want to do with having one of them questioned alone. And then 15 minutes of stress for everyone. Well, same lines. Sneaky fuckers they pry out little bits of information that wasn't given each time. Same line of questioning, but they somehow manage to knock something loose. Checking for consistency is the best way to find out if somebody's a lying little asshole. Let's see. Once those three. Okay, so they're doing that, and somewhere else, Naibai is being awoken by a patting on the face. Naibai's about to get slapped.
Bye.
Stop the fuzzy button thing. It's also recording.
Oh, they either stepped away or fell asleep.
I'm back.
There
stepped
they
away.
are.
I had to get some water. What's going on?
But diddling your butthole, that's what.
That doesn't. What's going on while I was getting water?
Yes, it does. That means you're not diddling your butthole. That's what it means, but seriously. Fucking,
Let's just adjust that back down to teenager.
Nobody's being awoken from their slumber with gentle pats on the face.
Oh, that's a lot more than I was expecting. So they'll get up slowly. Because they're restrained or something.
Nope, but they're in very oddly comfortable clothing.
Now I will then kind of like pinch the end of their shirt between two fingers and kind of give it a hugs.
Comfy. Made out of some sort of silk. And when you look on the inside, you can see runes all over it.
Ah, of course.
They wanted to keep you safe from invasive spirits while you slept.
Well, I suppose I can appreciate that.
We're currently being held here until it's our turn, apparently, as I was informed by the gentleman standing over there quietly at the door. And they'll gesture to the Chevalier, who's just silently standing at the door with their hands atop that big-ass tower shield.
Now I will kind of rub their arm. It's a little cold and
Yeah, that's just what it is. It'll warm up out there. And there's a...
This is Rosenforth that they're talking to?
Yes, he is
Okay.
awake and a living person. Holy crap.
No more ghosted forth.
Dressed in fucking obscenely fancy-ass clothing. Because they still dressed him like a royal.
Worth and forth.
Yeah.
Wasn't he also beloved? by many.
He was hundreds of years ago.
That-
Um,
Well, I got these rings that fix a lot of the abnormalities. They'll give a tug at their obsessively fancy, like it's just like egregiously fancy clothing. They have literal gold silk inlaid with some sort of almost blood fiber looking shit. Stuff that you've heard of, stuff that you know cost this one set of clothing just from your knowledge of Berlaxian royalty. This is basically an entire village's decades worth of food, but in the form of clothing.
It's expensive.
And it has that same regalia on the back and on the chest, just centered perfectly between their pecs, of the royal family's crest of what is known as a Panthernus, which the old crest, which is the best thing, the Panthernus being a sort of cross between if we were to take a serpent and a lion and mix them together.
It's not in the
Panther creature.
Fancy. That's very cool.
And it's embroidered in gold all the same. And you notice that he is wearing that same sky stone as a amulet around his neck, but he makes sure to tuck it in when he hears a knocking at the door.
that
And he
was
can
actually what Nibai was.
Oh, yeah. He thought he was talking about the problem that's bothering him is the fact that somebody romanticized him and designed a body that's like some sort of depraved fantasy.
Nah, she would have just thought he was being tactful about not describing this stone directly.
The Chevaliers think he can understand a man thing. They don't understand that he was a very learned man, and that just because you're dead doesn't mean you can't understand language.
Just because you're dead doesn't
No.
mean you can't learn.
Well, he learned well. But he knows. So he knows like 5 dialects right now. He knows ancient Ilvamaran, which is what it used to be. Then he knows Ilvamaran that he had created as a new, a centralized academic alphabet, because there was scattered, jumbled. There was royal, peasant, laborer, shit like that. It was split up, and he got tired of that, so he broke it and formed a singular alphabet. He's basically the reason there's literacy and education in the country.
Oh, I never thought to ask before. The dead have their own language?
The dead do have their own language, and he still remembers that too.
Awesome. He and Nibai could have a completely secret conversation still.
Yep. But he knows what is just aptly called spirit speak, which is not to be confused with death speak. They're very different, and fucking one is just talking to spirits, one is a fucking banned magic. So he's got that. He's got ancient Ilvamaran. Technically, he's got former royal Ilvamaran, commoner Ilvamaran, laborer, miner, and soldier, because they all had their own speeches.
He's got say those are dialects.
Yes, there were different dialects based off different sects. They all had their own. They used to have a caste system set over by the psychotic royals that were his family. Now they don't. And they speak current Ilvamaran, the one that he made, or that he had made by learned men, who basically took all of them broke them down to their cores and rebuilt them as a singular joined language. He also knows Ancient Nemanthian and Nemanthian currently. He knows Viperin, and he knows Elvish.
Mm.
Completely useless skills for most people. But, when you're an emperor, knowing a bunch of languages is kind of important.
Yeah.
Do the
helps.
Leonis have their own language?
Yes, the Leonis do. Most beast folk actually have their own language, and he knows several of them. He knows, he fluently speaks the ones aforementioned. He kind of can sort of say, hello, and do you speak any other language of this list in those languages? He literally learned how to say, do you speak Elvish? Do you speak Ilmarin, Nemanthian? Do you speak Ghost? Anything.
Spooky.
That's not this, yeah.
I'm kind of curious to see would Ione or Beatrice be able to speak that spirit speak, being essentially like yokai, but not quite the same.
I imagine
Yon,
the
yes. Beatrice,
Kitsura
no.
have their.
They do. They have a derivative of a Far Eastern language, because that's where they come from. The Kitsura come from the Far East.
All the way over there, right on the edge of the map. Holy fuck, could you get further away from people?
Well, it doesn't take long for the Chevaliers to come get the two of you and gesture you to follow along with them. You are definitely not in the main hall of the palace. You are currently in a back room. Well, not like a dirty back room, but you're in the halls of it. It's not in anywhere in the public area you came in.
Oh god. Oh no, not the back rooms.
You're in the part of those I'm pretty sure this is where people who live here come through. Oh.
The service tunnel.
No, it's carpeted and got fucking lights and everything.
A fancy tunnel.
It's not a tunnel, it's a hallway, dipshit.
It's the back rooms.
All hallways are tunnels, but not all tunnels are hallways.
No, they very much are not tunnels because they are above ground.
But it's inside of a structure, so it's an above ground tunnel.
That is not how that works. Tunnels are tunnels. They belong in the subterranean. You know what?
Tunnels are specifically underground.
Alright, so argue with the DM again, and somebody's getting drowned in a fucking kitty box. Like a sandbox? Yeah, somebody's getting drowned in one of those. I will drown you in the sandbox. No, I will put your head under the teeter-totter and teeter the fuck out of it.
So I'll teeter you totter.
I will see you all, bitch. Somebody's about to yee their last fucking haul is all I know at this point.
I'm gonna bang your boy, man.
All of the relevant NPCs get their own, and all of them have rolled, except, surprisingly, for Shizuna, have rolled the 2 dice. Shizuna is perfectly fine. Or at least you think so. You don't know. She's just very quiet and calm. Probably really good at faking it. But just when you all think you're safe, the arbitrator will just calmly walk over to the collective group, and after he goes to fetch Yon, mind you, and bring you all up and let you know, I require all of you to follow me, if you don't mind.
So Beatrice will get up and start following him. Kind of, being very cooperative. No reason to not be.
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody following along. Cool.
Yes.
Follow target, of course.
Well, you're all led back to that little golden oak stand. And this time, Yon is the one who's put in the center of the group by the arbitrator. And then they just hear the state your name.
She'll bow slightly and then she'll speak up. She'll, Sangyong.
State your profession, please, so all might hear and get a grasp of the seriousness.
I am a mage lord.
Thank you. Now please remain silent. Arbitrator, would you be so kind as to bring him in? He's not bringing who you think, though. He's actually bringing in somebody else. They will bring in somebody who starts to match a lot of descriptions on all of your heads. It triggers for all of you. Fancy armor.
What's that?
Fancy armor. 10-pointed star. Knowing smirk. Not you. No.
Look at that. You might have put it. Yep, you definitely had it up a bit there.
So there are curious eyes upon this person.
There's a bunch of. And then the Empress. What do you think you are doing, Osmandia? Isn't it obvious? Skirting around the fact I took it upon myself as part of this, at least I thought, bipartisan trial to get some truth. So I had help in finding if they really existed. And lo and behold, I present you Kokobio, the chapter master of the Church of Omnius' militaristic wing of judgment. What? Aren't you happy with my gift?
Dion is very not happy right now.
Why all of the panicking myrrh? The rabbling and the rousing. I simply did what any good rule. You are undermining this trial. No, Marceline, I am actually trying individuals. Because despite my laxity, you seem to forget that war is a disgusting matter of which I wish no part of against my friends, but make no mistake. If there is any kernel of truth to this being anything more than speculation, there is any inclination that this is but a farce to buy time, then my ire will be of utmost relevance very soon. Hey, but look, you can see his name over his head now, and her name. Osmandius, Marceline.
Those are good names.
Ah, yes, Asmodeus and Bart.
Gesundheit. Oh. Applause for myself. I'll let you sort this out, Marceline. Ah, yes. Because everybody technically just witnessed a piece in the game being played. Just because your lives are on the line doesn't mean they won't still make moves against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Puny non-royal people think they matter. So,
Did I just lose?
no.
Okay.
All that is holy. You raging bunny bitch. I was on a fucking
God
roll.
damn it. Moving on.
So they do exist. Apparently. So, he exists. But do the others exist? Well, ask them, Marceline. You. I. Oh, yes. My Empress. What might I help you with? Is it true that you, or rather, individuals of your group and the church attacked these young adventurers, representatives of the guild, and one of the best signs for a stable future that we have here, for a ritual dagger of some ancient Viperan god, and a book of Luna Cycles about the daemon, like Tegramin, everyone's favorite Tegramin, or something. And then you can just see Kokabil's eyes narrow at the king at the mention of that specific demon. What? Strike a nerve. Tegramin. It's but a name. Right. Of course. Ah, yes, forced smiles. And thus the tension rises, and apparently everybody thinks this is a fucking soap opera. Any of you have any snacks right now, I will hurt you. I am not Telemundo, you understand me?
I will go put the bag of pepperonis away. I'm sorry for being hungry.
But you're doing such
I'll
a
go-
good job.
I'll go put my fried spam away then.
Welcome to another episode of I Argue with Myself.
Shit, I'd watch that. I would
I mean,
pay to watch that.
You guys still come to the sessions. Apparently, it's entertaining.
Entertaining enough.
Oh wow, thanks enough. That's what everyone wants to hear. You're enough. Anyways.
Don't worry, you're good enough. Oh, you bitch.
I can assure you that none associated with the church would ever do such a heinous and deplorable act as assail or belligerently interact, to put it in a lighter sense, those of the guild. For we do not have a grudge, no longer. It was put down over, as you know, 7 or so 100 years ago, when we were permitted by the humble, hopeful emperor to continue existing alongside Ilvermont and not be cast away because of the transgressions of those higher in the churches. So, like, we'll talk right now. How angry are you collectively? Just curious.
Oh,
Well, Beatrice is rather irritated that he's just
Fiona is
lying out his ass like that. Fiona is calm and collected because she has basically evidence to the contrary.
Interesting. Interesting.
Kevin is kind of just smiling softly while he rubs one of his eyes, looking directly at Crucia.
She's not there. It's only Kokobio.
Oh, I thought I heard Crucia. My bad.
Nope.
Oh, well. He
Is
is
he the one that attacked the other group?
He didn't attack them. He saved them. But he is that man with that fancy armor, that ornate, very pretty zealot-looking fucking religious crusader gear on, dressed in sort of a warrior priest attire, with that long black hair that kind of has curls at the end.
the one that told the other, the gold about the dungeon.
Not a gold. It's close though. One rank lower.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Okay, I'm here for you. I understand.
Okay, so there's like a couple of out. Either this guy's a fucking liar and has been orchestrating everything, the group that attacked us, part of the church, but abandoned it. That group
Or
tending
split
to
off
be
from
part
it?
of the, or the church split and basically became an underground organization, whilst the people who actually continue to act like nothing happened.
That is certainly an option. One
So-
of the ones I considered.
I don't actually have enough information available at the time to really predict anybody of anything.
Correct. It's kind of. Well, I'm not sure if you'd say it's circumstantial, but you would say that basically they could all be right.
Yeah.
no, fuck them. They're wrong. They're the evil Omnius Church, and they hate the guild, and they want us to die because we're part of it. That's how this is. Snake logic.
Snack brain.
So, what you're telling me is they're simply lying. I am not directly saying that. But the implications are such that someone is lying. Though I don't necessarily think it's them. Perhaps someone was framing us. As you know, the Wing of Judgment has always had a checkered past as part of the church. Those of you unaware in this room, which I am certain there are a few who wish not to admit it, even amongst the more noble of us. Omnius is a dual god, the god of two sides, one of good and one of bad, were you to look at it through the lens of a simple mind. The generous god, who offers us warmth and protection, comfort, who is the light. When you go to a sermon and you listen, and you feel safe, it is the generous God's benevolence that you feel. But on his other side, because good cannot exist without evil, there is the cruel God, the selfish, selfish.
Shellfish.
That's what happens when you eat lemons before speaking publicly. My apology. For a brief moment, you can see him lick his lips, and that motherfucker, you swear to God, had a forked tongue.
Evan just kind of leans over to Merle.
Hissing sounds to
Who
that
the
speech.
fuck eats lemons? This guy's clearly evil.
The cruel God
It's
is
a mighty fruit.
part of Omnius, all the same as the generous God. We accept this duality, for we know the cruel God is tantamount to our development, spiritually, mentally, and in some cases physically. as the generous God. While a loving embrace, like from a mother, is good, your father's stern hand when you go awry is key to you learning proper, justifiable behavior, to act accordingly, think and behave. And the wing of judgment has always served as mere emissaries of the cruel God's teachings. Though in the past I will admit, it's only right that we were used as a weapon, and we were very effective at purging those that we viewed as heathens or savages. Though I've no track record, I simply give the humble sermons in the dark in his name of the inverse pinpointed star. Something about you speaking just makes my skin crawl. But at least he's speaking.
Got
Well,
a quick aside, if I'm allowed to go off topic for.
you're allowed to go off topic. Hold on, let me get the egg timer.
Okay.
No, just go ahead.
So I don't remember where exactly I heard this from, but I remember at some point learning that before Satan as a concept like existed, that in Christianity they would just blame God for everything, like good and bad. Is that a thing that actually happened, or am I crazy?
I think that's the general idea of the Satanic Temple or the Satanic Church. I think.
Um, it's iffy
But I don't know.
because, like, you've got Christianity way back in the day when there was Orthodox and Catholicism, and there was no Protestantism, i.e., modern Christianity.
Right.
There's a lot of the Old Testament that is, but Lucifer's always been there. There was never a time where God was the cause behind all things bad, but there was at one point. What made God God is he was full of sins. The seven deadly sins were all sins he had, and he purged them. That's where a lot of it comes from, is his purgery of his sins. And his sins went out into the world and caused harm. And that's why we are tempted as people, is we inherit his sins, and the belief that if you can overcome those seven sins the same as God, you're holy. This whole thing. But he himself never really was responsible for harm. I mean, through like I guess transitive property, if you look at it like algebra, they were his sins. Therefore, those sins went out. X did Y. They hurt this guy. Then boom, it's all. Well, even though it did it used to. It's your dog. It bit me. Therefore, it's your problem.
Exactly. Okay. I
Yeah,
just wanted a little clarification
now-
on that, because all of this duality of the god that they're talking about kind of reminded me of that, and I haven't thought about that in like 8 years.
Well, like there's also like there's a 3,000-year-old language, Zoroastrianism, Ahura Mazda. He basically Ahura Mazda.
Okay,
He was
not just Mazda by itself. Got it.
Ahura Mazda and Angna Mainyu. They are the same person. Angna Mainyu is the evil So in Zoroastrianism, which was Persia's religion, basically, like all of Persia, Islam developed from Zoroastrianism. Like that's the thing. Like modern day Muslims that worship Sunni and Shia, or all that shit.
Shiite.
what is it? Sharia, Sunni, and all that shit. They develop pretty much like all of the bad parts of Zoroastrianism, into a religion. It's kind of fucking shocking, but their god was Ahura Mazda. He was the creator, and he was all things good, and his shadow was all things evil. And he was basically meant to be a lesson in that there is good in the world, but with it you must accept the evil in the world, and you can't escape it, because without the evil you will take the good for granted, and without the good the evil will crush you. And so that was like he's where like Zoroastrianism is where a lot of or Hinduism with Shiva, the destroyer, Shiva and Vishnu, two sides of the same coin.
Well, with that religion, it's more like 200 sides of the same coin because they're all the same person. Just
But that's not
split off.
entirely true. They're all split off of Brahma.
Yeah,
He's their creator god. But
that's what I
like they
mean.
have the same thing. Is
Hold on. It's here. Sorry.
they
I
all
would
have that
put it past them.
thing
They
going.
probably would do something like that. Brahma is here. Oh god! Oh no!
But yeah, that's like another religion that has a lot of duality because
Yeah, it does.
just uh, this is like mainstream, what I call like mainstream Christianity or idiot Christianity has forgotten the fact that you're not supposed to just hate the devil. You're supposed to accept him as part of life and resist him. That's the whole fucking point. That was the whole point. He's part of life. You can't have good without evil. It was the same way with whatever you want to. I don't know, one of the bajillion names that have been given to the Christian God, and Lucifer or Mephistopheles, Beelzebub, whatever the fuck you want to call him.
I give him 3 stars.
You
My
want to give him
favorite
like
still, my favorite is still Bizzlebob.
but like all of those is like the same thing. It's like that is always it's like at the core of all of like the religions, you have to accept them both.
Shit, even
You have
at
to
the
fight it.
core of psychology, you have to accept your shadow within and your id and ego.
Yeah.
Like all that shit you suppress throughout the day, you gotta like actually face that at some point.
Yeah, the dark side of the mind where you want to throw a baby instead of a luggage hold. Anyways, back to that. That's what he was explaining. There, he's given his his 2 cents. Well, then, I suppose we've. Any specific questions? Osmandius. Why, I don't have any specific questions with that tone, my dear Empress Marceline, but I suppose one thing that we could ask is. Page Lord,
Yes.
would you kindly tell us all now what exactly your reasoning for being here is?
Well, to put it simply, I did battle with and barely defeated partial summoning of this god. And she's going to reach into her sleeves and pull out uh the symbol of him. And I've brought this as evidence. And she'll simply place it on the stand before her, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, just call it the golden oak.
Yes, that.
Ah, yes. Mm. Those are those are gasps you can hear now. People do not want to believe this. You guys can say stuff amongst yourselves if you want.
me find the right thing here so that she can elaborate a little. Okay, so here, as she's going to kind of push it forward slightly and say, this is the symbol of Melitatus, the avatar of cruelty. As I said, I fought a partial summoning. I would not be able to defeat a full one myself.
That is heresy. Oh, no, good sir, I don't think it is. Arbitrator, bring me that. I guess arbitrator doing a scurry. He will as politely as you can, take this from Yon and climb the steps and offer it over his head whilst looking down, not wanting to see that. You can kind of see like that calmness that Marjorie the Empress has had pretty much through all of the teasing from Osmandius. Just kind of starting to slip away, and you can see like perturbance on their brow right now. And they'll take that little icon in hand and they'll look at it. Well, Gabriel, you seem to have an unfortunate string of luck. I do not know of anything that nor do I believe that symbol to be true. Well, you know what they say, don't you? If you've done nothing wrong, you have nothing to fear. Or is that something that everyone seems to have forgotten? No, it is not lost on me. But I can promise I know nothing of this symbol. Nor this summon.
Didn't they say see a minute ago when they saw it?
Wait, what'd you say?
No, that's Kevin. Didn't they just say heresy a moment ago when they saw that symbol? I know nothing of this heresy.
Why is this heresy good, Tokubio? If it is a symbol of your church, it is a symbol of the avatar of cruelty who was a forbidden and violent weapon that was used a long time ago. But don't be shy with the history now. Don't you mean it was used around 3,000 years ago by the church on the very pagan inhabitants? Excuse me, pagan inhabitants. The word you're looking for is Lapidnara, Fenris, Leonis, remnants of the Vipera Empire, Dragonkin, Orcs, Elves. Did I go on? That you drove out of most of the northern lands through bloodshed and cruelty with Malatatus. An interesting name, really. Fun fact, those that don't know, in some sort of joke. Marjorie. Malatatis is an ancient Ilfamarn word. It simply means he of malevolence or the one who hates in some dialects. So, would be a problem unless there is a very convincing jeweler whom she visited on the way here with knowledge of a 3,600-year-old avatar who was buried thoroughly by the church's efforts to hide its history, which my ancestor, may he rest so thoroughly in peace, tried to help you forget. As I said, I know nothing of it. I can promise. So, I like what's currently happening right now. Just so this is clear. This my day is infinitely more interesting. Are we perhaps stumbling upon some sort of liar in court in front of royals? Not only that, you dare, as a member of the church, think your word outweighs that of a mage lord? It has only as much weight as it is given. Which, need I remind you, is very insignificant this day and age compared to a legitimate order that has, to my knowledge, had no ploys to kill my family, or the guild, or anyone, as of ever, whose sole existence has been to protect us from these specific things. I do not know what to say. I know. You can say nothing. And you can hear that kind of ear-popping snap from those giant fingers. Et bon dia. Et vos tu imprisonment. Aw, I thought he'd fight back. No, he's smart. Damn it.
Damn it!
It's like,
I
oh,
wanted to
I
see
meant not gonna
murder.
happen.
It is interesting, though. They can tell that he has magic because they slap a collar around his neck, and the cuffs they put on him also have runes. And then you can see the Empress just take that symbol in hand and reduce that. That's a solid piece of what is essentially volcanic rock, and they just kind of crush it into a powder. Well, it seems the guild really is being targeted. Though we don't have any true proof it's Kokabeel, so we will simply imprison him. Yes, I'm aware. I know how these things work, Empress. We will imprison him and question him accordingly. As for the rest of you, save for the Mage Lord, for we wish to have a few words.
She'll give us a quick bow. She's very respectful.
Arbitrator, take them out. Everyone that is not the Mage Lord or the Royals, be gone.
This is a good opportunity to get the fuck out.
Yes, it is. And
That is
Fiona's
a
going to use that opportunity.
There's a lot of aristocrats panicking to get out of their fucking benches.
Yon is going to be standing there calmly, just basically arms and sleeves, as she kind of watches the proceedings. And Beatrice is going to follow the arbitrator out.
The Chevaliers and the Royal Guard are also just going out. Oh, Mage Lord?
Yes.
You can... They were summoned because... What was it? You, followed the mysterious signals or something to some sort of ritual site? I don't know how you operate.
Let me take a look at my notes here.
Oh, it's quite simple. The Mage Lords are constantly watching. One of them's usually always on, basically, is a giant Hubble telescope for magical activity. Who finds... They literally just sit at the Mage Lord Tower and divine, occurrences, and they blank out all the stupid shit. They don't spy on people having sex or nothing, but once they feel something of some intrigue, they'll hone in on it, and that's what they did. They found it, and they realized, wait, this is in this area, because it was in Berlaxia, so that's or kind of, sorta, Sebastian in her jurisdiction, and since he was busy dealing with something else, he made her go deal with it, and she did pretty much bully her way through an entire fucking cult. And to call them a cult isn't it? They were an organized militia of fucking crusaders.
All right, so she's going to explain. One of our order is specializes in divination, and when a significant event to be in the region or nearby are sent in order to take care of such occurrence. And after fighting through a religious, uh, I suppose you could call it an organization or militia, I ended up fighting this summon, which I believe if it had its full power, I would not have stood a chance.
And that's how he who rides on black wings, and with him comes the setting sun. Like a great plague, he will sweep across this land, and wreathe it in the cruel god's love. Yes, I am aware. Well, good thing we got that under wraps now, isn't it? Oh well, what are you gonna do? Except, hope that this is all just some extreme misunderstanding. But, even if Kokabila is innocent, which there is a chance he could be, then that means there are those acting independently, or at least seemingly independently, with an undoubted support from someone with connection in the church, or abroad, to thus summon this problem. I really don't want to have to ask the guild for more help, but I think we may have to, Osman. Boring. Well, You do understand, Madam Mage Lord, we're going to have to keep you here in our purview long enough to verify that Kokobila is either lying or telling the truth.
Understood.
And that goes without saying that everyone that was involved in this trial will also be kept under watch. They will be permitted to stay, I'm assuming, here at the palace. Unless you want me to take them to Manthea. I'd much rather keep my problems on my doorstep. Well, then I will stay where I stay. Oh, I do have another gift for you. I don't like it. I have a gift. Ah, yes. And another door will open in this empty room. And that's when the chevaliers will step themselves out and allow the small Naibai to step into here, where all the architecture is, and the normal size royals, and then the Manthian High King and High Queen, who are fucking giants by comparison.
Well, Yone's gonna give her a pleasant smile because she is her daughter's friend.
Naibai will half nod to them.
Is that my gift? No, it gets better. I assure you.
Frozen Forth, there's a lot of people here.
Oh, it's just 1, 2, 5. You know, counting those 2 chevaliers, the 4 of us, her and you. Yeah, I guess that's a lot. That's 4, 6, 7, 8. There are a lot.
Wait,
Yes.
was Rosenforth not following them?
No, he is.
Okay.
He just very carefully creeps out. And then you can hear just
the first time
this.
in a long time.
You can hear just that. Leave the room. Well, my meddling is done for the day. Come on, dear. Let's go before we die. Or there really is a war. We will discuss these gifts at a later date.
So Yon is considering things. Did I take my leave as well?
If I'm leaving, you should take the hint, dear.
Very well. And so she will leave also, and she'll kind of pause by Naibai and raise an eyebrow.
Naibai will just kind of give you a blank, unknowing, kind of shrug their shoulders, then look to their escort. If I'm a gift, do I also have?
I will request that you leave with them.
So
Oh,
Yon will offer her hand for Naibai.
What about I? You will stay.
Think other side.
You will leave. It's okay, Naibai. I'll be fine, don't worry. Worst I can do is die.
Let's hope. And then Naibai will take their hand, knowing full well that no, you can't kill a spirit.
And so Yon will lead her out. And
Yes.
back to the others if they're allowed to go.
The 2 shorts walking side by side the High King, who's allowed them to walk amidst this fucking encirclement of chevaliers.
Yeah, I think Yon is once again the shortest in the room.
Well, considering that he's 9'7",
Wait a second. Does this kingdom follow Invader Zim logic? Is it ruled by the tallest?
well, the Manthea is ruled by the High King and Queen. He's 9'7", and she's fucking 9'3".
So yes,
But no, Ilvamar Marjolaine is only like 5'10", and the Emperor's only like 6 foot tall. He's not that big. It's just that, like, part of the world the world lore is that it's said that the High King and High Queen of Manthea are descended from ancient giants.
Okay.
So, what's it like to be a mage lord? I can do that. You were right. I can, but it's not as.
If I did that, there would definitely be consequences.
Oh,
But there are times when I'm assigned to things.
you know, I could really use a mage lord in my kingdom. How does an entire city sound for a house?
It sounds exciting, but I find I'm rather humble for the position. I'm happy staying in my own home, around my family and my friends.
Proposition. What if we transplant all of that in Amanthea?
Just casually move your hometown to the king's back garden.
Built.
I believe there might be a little bit of friction considering some of the revelations that occurred today. Some of my friends and family are not in the highest regards.
Oh, I'm aware of Drake having slaughtered some of my finest chevaliers when I was younger. Yes, the conversation that the other group hears when they leave those doors. And he makes note to just stand there. It's amazing how fucking uniform these chevaliers are, though. When he stands here, halfway to the top of the steps, they still stand perfectly spaced in a sort of hexagon around him. Or, well, around these, them. It's like having children walk by their parents. It's fucking adorable.
adorably terrifying in this case.
I would like to have a
That's all
word
it
with you. All of you, actually. I want you to know. With my wife here, and you. And he'll point at a random aristocrat who will freeze. Ah! Get your family. Bring them present. Stand them right here. Get some other people too. There must be an audience. They will fucking do it without hesitation. Jesus Christ, they lost hard. They got a 3.
They're like,
Oh, there's like 10 people just standing awkwardly down there. As I can give them Manthea. Of your family and you, of all transgressions against the kingdom. Don't do it again.
and Yon will, of course, give a nice low bow, and Beatrice, very confused, is just going to imitate her.
Theon will bow as well.
Naibai will curtsy bow just in case her backwater family did something against the royals.
Well, there is a saying that she knows that you can't throw a stone into Manthea without finding somebody that pissed off the king. To be fair, there are a lot of people who try to piss him off.
Got the last tart. Execute him.
Dude, don't fuck. He is that kind of person. How have you not picked that up?
I'm just saying. You got the last
Right.
donut. Have him executed.
I wanted that wheel of cheese. Cut out his tongue. You can go now. Take your family. I don't need witnesses anymore.
Oh, I just had a really mean thought. I don't need witnesses anymore. Execute them. Oh, the internet out again. No.
That
Ah,
was
the internet's
ancient and
back.
rules.
Oh,
Well, if you have any questions, do feel free to ask. Choose one.
I have a question.
Is it to accept the open challenge?
No, 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 sir. No, no.
Are you sure? I mean, look at those. All natural. Well, some of it might be magic. Don't strike me in public.
My lord, if I were to challenge you, you would swat me like a fly on with one wing.
To be fair, I would probably cleave you in twain.
But my question was what you said about my mother. Why is she disgraced?
Because she is Oh, you mean the act? The act, therefore, that got her disgraced. The disgraceful act. The disgracing act that got your mother to become the disgraced royal smith. That disgrace? She refused a simple request to make a weapon to harness souls of humans, elves, and basically anything with a bleeding heart. In hindsight, I was a very temperamental king 85 years ago. Well, technically, it's more like 98 years ago. But I was still a very good king. Only been in war 10 times in my lifetime. Consider this a blessing, by the way. Seldom do I ever let people who aren't at least a 13th as rich as one of my descendants talk to me. Just look at these clothes. Beautiful, inlaid silver, solid silver, red, purple. Oh, I'm gorgeous. Let's go. If you want the open challenge, I'll be staying in the West Wing.
I'm having a question to ask.
Would you like him to stand there and wait a second and wait for you to think?
Well, no, Naibai wouldn't do anything to stop them from leaving.
You just legitimately can't think
Hello?
of anything to ask? Hello.
Yeah, I've got brain fog right now, apparently.
Hello, welcome to my.
Hello.
How are you?
I cut out when it's a weapon to harness phone cut off.
Souls.
Oh.
Man, keep-
A weapon to harness, so... See, Janaya will make a weapon out of a soul. That's fine. But she refuses to make a weapon that itself will extract, consume, and empower it on souls.
That has potential to turn into its own creature or something worse.
Mostly because, in every, technically even in Nemanthia, it's widely considered taboo to utilize soul magic like that. To utilize souls as some form of power has always been a very touchy subject with them.
Feeling a little foul, thinking about it.
Oh, I think I
You
have
guys
a
want the open
question.
challenge?
Young's going to pause for a moment, then she's going to ask, would you be willing to consider something that might empower me a little?
Depends on what it is, but I would be inclined to listen if you want. I don't really know. I just like indulgence of self.
Well, my species, uh, as you might be aware, comes from another world, and one of my abilities is essentially to siphon off a little bit of life. It is simply temporary for the victim, but it permanently enhances my own.
Mm-hmm.
The process generally involves a kiss.
Oh,
I don't
I see what they're
think
getting at.
Yeah, Yawn wants some more life, and she's being polite and asking about it.
Yeah. I don't think they'd survive. There's not enough magic from any world that could keep you from being over invigorated. As much as we do enjoy kissing pretty women, both of us agree, you would perish in a most unsightly fashion. The to siphon the life of something non-ephemeral is quite gnarly.
Well, it was worth asking.
But if you still want to kiss, please stay in the West Wing.
I might take you up on that offer.
Stretchy for your sake. Oh, you're always so considerate. Look. Well, I have fully grown tired of the public speaking voice. Let's go.
Naibai would ask them before they leave if
Uh,
they would be able to get them in contact with someone that could help them deal with the condition, as it were.
Deal with her. Fix her. I'll pay you.
Now that's a question. Could Yon do that?
No, but y'all know somebody who could.
Okay. Is it one of the other
Well-
mage lords?
Well, yes. Technically. It is another one of the main ones.
Be able to help a little bit in that manner. It wouldn't be specifically me, but somebody I know. So I'll get in contact with them.
Well, let us continue then. This way we go.
It's like the 5th time they've tried to leave.
I am now walking.
Yon's going to wave at them, the adorable wave with the finger wiggling inside.
You are ever so popular. I know. It's my curse being this gorgeous. I mean, look at me. Who could stare upon this face and not feel some form of lust or envy, or envy? Combination of the two.
Now that brings me to another question. Does Yon have a way to easily contact the other mage lords? Aside from her tablet that'll piss off every divination mage within everywhere.
Yes. Oh god, ear. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, that feels good. Happiness. Your happiness. Wait, what was the state? Wait, what was the what?
Just literally picked the thought out of your brain.
So I was asking if she had a method of contacting the other mage lords that was fairly easy, that would, be like a magic spell or an item or something that would be immediate rather than having to send a letter or use her tablet that pisses off every divination mage in the history of ever.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like a sending stone or walkie-talkie or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Magical
She might have
walkie-talkie.
developed a spell for it. Like, I think she has a small amount of divination magic, so she could probably manage a spell for that.
I
That would
just
be
like
right.
the idea of a magic walkie-talkie. It works over any distance, but it's still as crappy as a regular one.
That's still a pretty good walkie-talkie.
So
Got the hiccups.
I just want to point out that, like, I'm just picturing, like, spell walkie-talkie, and you pick up a rock and it's like, can you hear me? Over.
I like that idea. It's just like any random object that you can pick up.
Literally
As
banana
long as it
phone.
fits in the palm of your hand.
Hold on, guys. I have to talk to my people. Grabs a tree.
Puts both hands on the ground. Can you hear me? Comes out just as loud as a speaker the size of a planet. Yes!
Oh no, the feedback would be horrible.
I can imagine her using like a tree branch, holding it like a telephone as it sticks out of the tree, and just poking at the tree like she's dialing.
Poking the individual leaves like the had.
Oh,
like, this
God. Yeah, I could see that. But no,
Oh, damn it, this branch doesn't
Wrong
have a
number, sorry,
9.
Randall.
Okay, just Randall.
It's like, this is the third time this week. It's like, you're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Yes.
stop
I will
calling
be
this
right back.
number.
I feel like if Randall slammed the phone down for the walkie-talkie spell, whatever you're holding would also smack you in the head.
It will. It will.
It just basically slaps you.
Just like Randall's the kind of person that if you were using that phone or that rock as a phone, and somebody's like in the background being a smart, it's like put them on the phone. Like, okay, he wants to talk to you, and then just a hand will reach through and grab them by the throat. I'll kill you. Yeah, because Randall has. It seems like cartoonish, but he's literally developed magic that basically alters and bends reality to do what he needs. 17,000 years of experience and all that. Well, okay, more than 17,000. That's like as far back as he's willing to tell people he is. Because after 17,000, he feels just old.
After 17,000, he feels old, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that was around the time the Vipera Empire was being founded. It's not like time perceives slower for me. You realize that, right? It perceives the same. It was extremely boring, but also cool to watch everything explode. Fastest way
Feels
to burn
when we
the
look at
civilization. Just Other people, the fastest way to burn a civilization down is with distrust. Randall, the fastest way to burn a civilization down is with a lot of fire.
Yeah, pretty much. Y'all would be inclined to agree with him there.
Yeah, as
But
would
no,
Naibai, yeah. So yeah,
all
fire,
mage,
that's definitely effective.
all mage lords do have a divination spell on their mind that they call the mimetic net. Basically, it's stuck together. Basically, it's just the form of communication that they can use.
Some magic
The
internet.
meme net.
No, it's more like magic. It's like more like magic thought talking. Ooh, telekinesis. Woo!
Woo!
Ooh, except it's not mind reading, it's more like annoying text message bubbles that keep popping up. Discord
So,
notification sound intensifies.
Ba-doop, ba-doop.
Ba-doop, 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 ba-doop.
Don't you badoop me?
Ba-doop.
It. Where's my gun?
That's it. Getting me mallet. Coming
That's
up there
it.
to Georgia.
Just Randall. That's it. I'm getting me to Rask.
Oh, wait, things have escalated very quickly out of control.
Like he just like got a whole ass Tarrasque that he's carrying like over his head. Like, and it's like mind you, it's a Tarrasque, but he's carrying it over his head, walking towards you. I'ma get you.
God, God.
Fucking Randall. Comic relief until you realize comic relief makes the scariness go away.
Alright, so y'all meet in a tavern. How original. Okay, so take 1d4 fire damage. What do you mean? I said y'all meet in a tavern. Which means you're over a fire pit.
You meet in a tavern. Oh. That is currently caught in a landslide. Roll for it.
Oh no! That's a...
What do you mean? How do I have initiative? Yes.
Well,
Four?
you're
So-
not rolling for initiative, you're rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, so roll 3d6.
Like,
Roll
I'm
another
gonna
3d.
save champ. I'm gonna save you some trouble. Just get the other character sheet. Y'all ain't surviving this.
11d6. 2 hits.
Like, so he does 78 damage. You forgot my armor score. That's counting your armor score. Oh.
Oh.
Bye, guys.
Half of that is no, I already did that for you.
I've
No.
been in it.
Including divine protection? Oh, did you not want that? No, I'll just increase the score then.
I have been in that scenario. Also watched my teammate almost solo the BBEG only to die by stubbing his toe. Also killed the BBEG in that same game by pushing a shelf over on him.
Fuck you, that's dangerous. It hits in all kinds of weird ways.
Dude, when you have no armor, you're bleeding out, and you've got like 7 hit points left, yeah, pushing over a shelf in a warehouse is a death sentence.
Oh, it's a warehouse shelf? Absolutely. That's several hundred thousand pounds of shit.
Damn, that character must have been strong. Those things are usually bolted to the ground.
Most of the time, they're not. I can confirm this. They're just held down by weight. It's bullshit.
Alright. So it's the Royal Guard themselves that will get you all, that will lead, or more like force, you to your quarters. pretty much just that was pretty, yeah. They take you to the East Wing, to the guest quarters. And they put you all in rooms adjacent to each other, and you can hear them standing outside the doors.
Well, while she's relaxing in her room, Yon is going to contact the Mage Lord that can help Naibai. And I assume that Yon kind of knows what's going on with Naibai because of her supernatural existence.
He's aware.
Naibai will explain that she just wants to be able to control herself better when she gets into that state. She doesn't want to stop going into it because, I mean, it is a use to have as long as they're able to effectively use it.
And Yon, of course, will relay this very specifically so that the other Mage Lord knows exactly what they're talking about.
Oh, my hair. There we go.
No, that's my hair.
Oh!
My stomach feels better. So, how much is a liter and a half?
It's about half. It's about 1 liter plus half of another equally sized container.
Isn't that like 2 pints or something?
Ish.
How many liters does it take to make a gallon?
Good question. Pretty close.
Okay, so the soda bottles you get with pizza is 2. That's about a gallon. I think it's a little bit over.
Here, just ask Google.
I'm doing that right now. It's 3.78 liters.
Oh. I got it the other
Okay,
way
so
around.
I drank just about a half gallon of apple juice.
Isn't that what you said you were gonna do?
Yes.
Or no, wait, it was a gallon and a half, wasn't it?
No, I said no, I was wrong about how much it is. I said half a gallon. Or
So
about a
it
gallon.
is just shy of 0.4 gallons.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit
Almost
less
half.
than half a gallon.
Ah, there we go. I fixed it.
Yay!
Look at suffix.
Could anybody hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, now.
Did you hear me earlier when I was talking?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think
the whole
so.
time you were jabbering
It's okay.
about things.
Well, Nihilus is who can help them. Nyliss. That's who can help with Naibai. Because Nihilus is the mage lord whose major specialty in magic is that of soul magic.
I will do not to accidentally call them Nautilus.
Well, they are very far away, but they did say that they could probably find some time within maybe a couple months.
Well, Yon is going to express her gratitude and appreciation. Because she's very polite. And she's glad that this other Mage Lord, Nihilus, is going to is willing to help Naibai. You can probably tell Yon is fairly polite because it makes everything go well.
True.
Happier people are, the more willing they are to do things for you.
Yeah.
I will thank them. Contact set up, and then they'll just like openly wonder how much it's gonna end up costing.
Yes. Naive was just permitted to go to Yon's room. So there's 2 guards outside that door currently.
You said we could hear them standing there. Is their armor particularly loud?
It's just vital.
It's just that you can like hear them. Because it's just that quiet right now.
Big dude, after all.
Ambient guard noise. You may not rest now, there are guards nearby.
You attempt to rest now, you will be beaten.
Are you okay there? Yeah. That's good though. Just, I mean, I don't know if I'd call it just happened. Good. Hey, what time is it? How the fuck is it already 7:46?
It's almost time to wrap up. Still got like 20-ish minutes.
Yeah, 15, 20 minutes.
It's also the weekend, so if nobody has work tomorrow, we could.
We can go late.
Shadow has work, don't you?
No, I don't.
Oh wait, yeah, no, that's right. You're taking.
I do,
Why
but
is it
I'm on
sometimes?
the West Coast, so it's not as late for me.
Like, I've got to go to drill tomorrow, but that's pretty much it.
At what time?
Hmm?
What time do you gotta be at drill?
6.
In the
But I
morning?
can stay up late.
Okay. But you know what? It's fine. Just Sergeant will be happy.
It is my mom's birthday, so we might.
Tomorrow?
No, today. So we might
Oh,
watch a movie or something after the session.
Well, do you want to get ahead and stop early so you can go spend time with your mom?
Yeah, if we're at a good stopping point, I'll do that.
Yeah. Sorry we didn't get around to you, Klaus, but these idiots wound up in court.
It wasn't our fault this time.
You know what?
It wasn't. We just happened to be the ones that earned the ire of some evil bitch.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. Okay, that's fair. It wasn't your fault you wound up in court this time. On a scale of 1 to 10, were you worried about possibly dying and or being in prison?
Yes.
Yes.
A small amount, but not
To not
much.
use your scale at all, but use our own to quantify the amount of worry.
It just. We all completely ignored the scale.
I don't think any of you know what scale from 1 to 10 means.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I had to say, I would say maybe a 3.
Not good. That's
I'm
about
gonna,
where I wanted it. 3 or 4.
Gonna,
Because you
I said
realize
Fiona was about a 4.
that's where I was. Yeah.
I'm gonna stick it right in the middle at 5.5. Just
You can
because,
tech-
like, Naibai just had, like, their soul fucked with, and they were, like, harboring something that, or someone that was, like, you know, violently hated by somebody in that building.
They were harboring somebody that was violently hated by literally basically every fucking member of the church for hundreds of years.
Yeah, that too.
I'm a little worried for Rosenforth, but
Yeah.
He'll be fine. That conversation is very interesting. It's along the lines of angriness and what was it? It's
it's like, why did you bring me back to life just to kill me again?
explain yourself. Do not tell me to explain myself, young lady.
Pulling the young lady card when they were bored.
Well, I mean,
Weren't they around the same age? Technically.
by the time he died, he was a little older.
No,
Wilbur's Marjolaine's only about 48, 49.
And he was something like in his 60s or something when they killed him.
He was almost 70. He was 60. He was not even trying to be funny. He was 69 years old.
Yeah, I thought it was something like that, like upper 60s.
yeah, but I was referencing to them like being put in a new body, like
And
Or-
technically, he was born.
yeah.
He does have some rings like Glyco does. He wants to know who the fuck romanticized him right now, though. That was basically something he was dealing with while Naiba was asleep. Is why just standing in the mirror naked with a chevalier staring at him. Why?
Who made me this?
Who toned
Why
my
am I gorgeous?
cankles?
I was
Why are glutes so perfectly
Well, like,
sculpted? I
his-
don't agree.
his words were along the lines of, I mean, I was slightly above average. Slightly. He literally just talked to that chevalier who said nothing while watching.
Anyway, I think I will hop off of here now.
Okay.
Enjoy your mother's birthday, and I hope they have a good one the rest of the day. And you guys watch a good movie. Like, crap, I can't remember a good movie because I don't care about movies. But,
Yeah, hopefully
some-
we can find something that she wants to see. It's like we got a lot of.
I hear Black Widow isn't bad.
Yeah, but if we want to watch it now, we gotta pay $30 because of fucking Disney Plus.
Fucking Disney Plus.
Watch John
Wow.
Carter's The
Or we
Thing.
could go to a theater, but you know, I don't know if I want to go to a theater at this point in time. 'Cause
Well, even before COVID, I didn't like going to theaters either, just because,
Because
unless
of
unless it's a fucking opera or like I'm going to go see Wicked, I don't want to go. Or the Book of Mormon, or Avenue Q, or The Magic Flute, or Jersey Boys, or Les Miserables, not the crappy movie rendition with Hugh Jackman and Russell Crowe, or Jekyll and Hyde.
yeah, like sometimes the
Iphone
theater can
shoes.
be enjoyable, and other times it's just eh. Normally, we get a pretty good experience because our theater is generally empty when I go. Like I normally go there, and I'm the only person. But I don't know how it's gonna be now.
I could,
It's like Friday night, that would be kind of a busy time for a theater.
I could recommend a watch at home for free movie. I would say John Carter's The Thing.
John Carpenter.
Yeah, that guy.
John Carter, though, was an interesting movie.
It was definitely a movie.
Is that the one where he like gets sent to Mars or something?
It's based off an old book, but yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw that movie.
That was one of fuck. Who is that actor? Chris Pine.
Oh, Interstellar's good if you want sci-fi.
Interstellar was
And his brother Chris Birch.
It was kind of weird, but it was good.
There's 2001, a classic.
D34 is
What
pretty
do you
good.
do
Yeah.
now? We got Disney Plus, Netflix, and HBO Max and stuff that we can watch stuff on. And even like our cables on demand thing, we might be able to find something there too.
I wonder
Well-
which of those services has Spaceballs on it.
Baseballs. I would guess Netflix or maybe HBO Max.
I'm thinking
If you ever
it's gonna be on
a
Netflix.
fucking hilarious movie, by the way, guys. For like $3, you can rent from Amazon Prime Video the Ice Pirates.
That just sounds funny.
Oh my fucking god. This fucking movie was made in 1985, 84, 85. And like, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it is literally mentioned space herpes.
Space.
I oh my fucking god, like just if you want to see a fucking hilarious movie from the 80s, space the Ice Pirates. It's like reverse water world in space, and water is like the most scarce resource, and everybody needs it. And like ice pirates are thing because that's where they get a lot of water from is ice, comets and shit. And so there's ice pirates.
I see. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. But it is fucking hilarious. Like this fucking scene where like they're like one of the people who got like sold into slavery or something, and is not okay with it, and is especially not okay with them all marching into like this fucking machine that is like literally turning them into mincemeat, and like they're just having this fucking crisis while they're there. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it is one of those movies that the one thing I remember from it, out of context, is just space herpes.
Dune is always good. There's also
The
Hitchhiker's.
Dune,
Well, yeah.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is fucking hilarious. That was one of Salvatore's most interesting novels. R.A. Salvatore. And Dune is a fucking great book. The movie isn't bad, but fingers crossed that the what is it? I think they're making a new show.
I thought they were doing like the third attempt at a movie.
It's either a movie or a show. They're also supposedly there's a studio working on a like a online survival co-op Dune game.
Another one?
There's never been a Dune game.
I thought there. Oh wait, no. I'm thinking of a different game.
You're thinking of
There's a-
Doom.
No, not Doom. I'm thinking of fucking that one game where you can wander around as a torso the entire time.
I do recommend actually reading a lot of the Dune media though, rather than watching it if you ever want to know something interesting.
Yeah,
Because the movie doesn't do it. The movie is cool. Don't get me wrong. Pretty fucking cool. The spice is cool, but the movie does a shit job of actually showing why the spice is so fucking valuable.
the movie also
Like,
skips the intro, like the most important establishing part.
yeah, that's true. It does skip that. But like, yeah, it skips a lot of that. And like, it's like the main thing in the movie is like, oh,
the baby.
spice. It's a fuel for our starships. Except it's also just not that. It's used for everything, dude. There's literally people who it can make you superhuman, and you can tell if somebody has been afflicted by the spice because their eyes turn a very pretty shade of blue, and they're called all bad eyes. Named after I think the odd body of the fucking world of what was it, Karak or whatever was the name of the world?
Something like that.
Yeah. There's all kinds of shit that goes on though. But yeah. I have to pee. But I don't want to move. I'm in a predicament.
Well,
I mean,
dinner is just about ready because I'm smelling food. I gotta hop off.
Bye, Ivy.
Have a good night, friend.
Alright.
Oh.
Fast puff and the Durg and the Fox.
Pop.
What?
So I figure the name Fops came around because of the sound when we give a fox a cat. Since all the fluff makes it go fop instead of pat.
Seriously?
40 years in the future, Rosenforth will marry Naibai.
Just gonna
that was-
call that now, huh?
No, I mean, fuck, I don't know. We don't know what the dice are gonna do. I didn't know that the High King was going to fucking actively play the game while doing a trial, but also be actually helpful.
Expecting him to be aggro, not just moderately annoyed at the proceedings.
And then there's just the hiking. Hey, kitty, fight. Oh,
No, I'm good.
Let's
Thank you, sir.
fight.
come on, fight me. Ew.
I like having my limbs attached to my body. Thank you.
I like my body parts being in one piece and attached to them.
Ah yes, Osmandius, the High King of Demantia.
So wait, so the people who fight the High King, did they get put back together again and like healed up, or are they just dead?
The non-adventurers are just dead. The adventurers wake the fuck up in the resurrection chamber and have to go deal with the humiliating fact they just died.
But at least they died to the king, I guess.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people like. At least I got to see I got to there I was, and I was looking at him, and then I was looking at him, but like eye level, and then upside down, and then I started flailing through the air, and then I realized my body had no head.
And then I realized, and then I woke up here.
Actually,
Here we go.
it's very traumatic to wake up from having died, because your brain still remembers that when you're resurrected, so it sends all that shock into you. And
Yeah.
people who die a bunch and get resurrected over and over again in the guild they get PTSD from it. They just get straight up get fucking shell shocked from all the dying, because they've felt that panic and that fear and that stress over and over and over again, and their brain is freaking out.
So does the resurrection chamber compensate when you're brought back, or can you potentially die while in the resurrection chamber?
It compensates and it brings you back healthy, but
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about the shock, because if your brain thinks
it
you're dying,
compensates
then
a
it
lot
can, in
of
fact,
that.
just kill you.
It compensates for a shitload of that, but it's only permitted to do so much. Like, the world has to let you feel that as
I'll be
teaching
back,
moment.
guys.
It is a teaching moment for the world. Like, hey, you kind of died. Sad you that much.
Meanwhile, Naibai's over here casually just like, let me just leave my body here for a second.
Fucking.
Oh man, it's gotta be really annoying when Naibai slips back into their body and they like had an itchy nose the whole time. They're just like, eh.
Oh, Naibai can't leave. Well, while she's wearing those clothes, she can't leave her body though.
Not while they're wearing those clothes, no, but
I guess
as a
naked.
part of their shamanistic like training and everything, they would have learned how to astral project and all that. But anyways, I'm going to finish ripping the hair out of my leg.
Gotta get them smooth, sexy legs.
Yeah, which is annoying because, like, if when I go over a thick patch, it's like, let's just rip out 80 at once.
Smooth, sexy legs. that
Here.
can be spread wide.
Exactly.